doing a get ready with me, but also going to be talking about the energy after this week's full moon in Aquarius and the Lion's Gate portal that we had on 8/8. So depending when you watch this video, again, as always, my lives are posted on my YouTube channel. All my lives will always be set on public, so you guys can always come back and watch it, listen to it, and reference any like intuitive messages that I get, or if I do readings. Even though I do collective readings in general here on my channel, I always come back and reference what I say or what I have said. Sometimes when it comes to oracle readings, tarot readings, or just intuitive messages, or what people call downloads that a intuitive will receive and share, sometimes that energy, those situations don't pop up like right away. It takes time because time is also energy, and everyone's timeline is different. So like everything I'm saying right now are literally things I'm just picking up on. I don't have tarot cards in front of me. I don't have oracle cards. I have nothing in a sense that I could use for divination. Um so again, they're downloads. But yeah, so gonna start. So happy Sunday, or whenever you watch this live, as I stated. Give me 1 second. I need to get my tea. I'm still getting used to this whole YouTube thing. But if you can hear me, hey. Ooh, I needed that. Just had some peppermint tea. My stomach hasn't been feeling so great as of yesterday. Not quite sure why, but I've been dealing with like on and off stomach discomfort, but in case that resonates. But anyways, peppermint is good to use. Hello, thank you for the hearts. Hello, thank you for tuning in. Going to be talking about the post energy. Hello, thank you for tuning in. Going to be talking about the post energy of the Lionsgate portal that we had on the 8th, as well as the full moon energy we also had, as well as going to be a get ready with me. So if you are down to listen to the messages that I have, go ahead and stay on the live. Let's interact as well. Please make sure to subscribe if you guys aren't subscribed already. That way we build the collective. I am headed towards 600 subscribers. So once I reach 600 subscribers, I will be doing a free tarot reading giveaway. I did that when I reached 500. So again, I'm headed towards 600. So make sure you guys subscribe as well. Like the video, like. It helps me a ton and lets me know that you guys like the stuff that I talk about. Please let me know if you can hear me well. I have like my fan in front of me. There's music in the background. So let me know if you can hear me well. Because if not, TikTok lied. This is supposed to be like sound canceling. Thank you for the like. Thank you. But let me know. How has your guys' weekend been? If you guys are familiar with, again, as I stated, we had the full moon. Ooh, sorry if I'm kind of, anyways. Let me know how that went for you guys. Surprisingly, this full moon went pretty well for me. Last new moon, and because we are exiting Mercury retrograde, listen, that was rocking my, okay, which is something that I've talked about before Mercury retrograde started, and then of course during. I have previous lives where I was just doing collective messages regarding what to expect, things to keep in mind, and advice, tips on what can help you and how it can help you. An example would be if you are struggling with, you're feeling really tired and you feel like you have too much going on, take time to rest. That's just like one example. Again, this is a get ready with me, so you will be getting ready with me. So I will start talking about my experience with the Lionsgate portal. I was actually talking to my sibling about this yesterday. Sorry if you guys can hear me messing around with the mic. But so on the 8th, once again, was the Lionsgate portal. So normally every year, I don't really do anything specifically when it comes to the Lionsgate portal, as they say. I just kind of work more with the days of the week and depending. Hello, thank you for tuning in. Please make sure to like the live and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. So I just kind of go based off of the days of the week. So for example, today is Sunday. So if you're trying to manifest like good vibes, positivity, you're trying to manifest success or money or like better health, you can do stuff on Sunday is associated with the sun, and it's going to help set the intention and get the energy going. Just got to the salon. Please keep my phone far. What do you mean by that? Can you hear something? Let me know in the comments. Or am I like too close? Is that what you mean? Am I too close to you guys? Makeup will not fix me. I agree. I totally agree with that. Never once did I state that makeup will fix anyone. What makeup can do is it can actually accentuate certain features. Why is my face red? So, what happens is some people naturally have redness on their face. In case you didn't know that, but as well, certain items, certain products can cause like minimal irritation. In my case, I scrubbed the shit out of my face while I was in after my shower because I was dealing with some dry skin. So that's why I have redness, but it'll go down. Accentuate. Maybe I didn't use the right word. That's okay. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with asking. Maybe it was a serious question, maybe not. But I mean, some people, even sometimes, like I think yesterday when I was on the live, or the day before, whenever I was last live, I like scratched myself right here. I was like a little itchy, and it just left a big red mark. And I'm like, dude, I barely touched my face. But yeah, some people experience redness, or some people have really sensitive skin. But in my case, right now, the redness is starting to go down. But Lionsgate portal. Okay, so as I mentioned, Sunday, if you're trying to manifest certain things, Sunday is a great day to do so. Every other day is associated with certain planets, depending what your intention is, and depending what you're trying to manifest. Listen, you can manifest almost anything. And I said almost, because a lot of people are like, you can't manifest this and that. Again, depends, and it depends on the energy. So again, normally for the Lionsgate portal, I don't do anything. But I was like, you know what? This year I feel called to do something because I need to do something. And listen, I cleaned, I mopped, and for those that are or aren't familiar with floor washes, listen, when it's time to mop, make sure you put in that work and you set the intention of what you're trying to manifest, what you're trying to either remove or what you're trying to draw in into your life, into your home. So that's something I did, and I'm so glad I did it. And again, cleaning helps too. Decluttering helps as well. That way, you're allowing new energy to come in. How old am I? I am in my 30s. How old are you? I don't know why people tend to ask me that a lot. What does that mean? Can we get? But yeah, so going back to what I was saying. So then I spent a couple hours just cleaning and stuff, and it's important to stay as positive as you can be, depending what you're trying to draw in, what you're trying to manifest, right? So for me, I had certain things in mind. So everything that I did on the 8th, so again, Lionsgate portal, I just saw 10-10, 10-10 on the time. 10 represents cycles, and it can also represent an ending as well as a new beginning, which I believe I mentioned on my last live too. So if you guys haven't seen that, definitely check it out. On 13, can I manifest being a hero with powers? Yeah, maybe in your dreams. I don't know. Depends what you mean by powers, right? Some people believe that, being able to get visions, or when they're dreaming, they're able to kind of receive messages, download. They could consider that a superpower, right? But intentions, right? So, if you're really 13, then something you can manifest is this upcoming school year is that you have a very successful what? School year, right? So by having a successful school year, that's going to be great. That's going to benefit you. Something you can manifest if you're really 13, as you stated in the chat, is manifesting or setting the intention that you have a balanced and healthy mental and emotional health, right? That's going to be super important as well. And that's just not for people that are, in middle school, high school. This is for adults too. You can manifest stuff like that. You can do um spiritual baths, you can do cleanses, you can do spell work, you can wear jewelry, you can use crystals. There's so many things you can use with the elements as well that will help you to manifest things. So school is boring. I want to have 8 wives someday, and I want to be powerful. Well, good luck to you. See how that works in a couple of years. But yeah, so again, Lionsgate portal. And of course, we are in Leo season. So if anyone that is currently on the live or will watch the live at a later time, happy birthday to all the Leos. Don't mind the weird comments, you guys. That tends to happen in the beginning of my lives, and then they all just eventually leave. But anywho, full moon as well. So it is said, which I strongly believe, that during full moon energy, that's where the energy in general of the collective is at its most powerful. People can be more emotional or feel more sensitive. Situations can create just heightened energy, if that makes sense. So for me in this case, because it was during the time of the Lionsgate portal, my intentions were very specific. And excuse me, I made sure that that day and yesterday I did the best that I could to focus on being positive. And I know that can be very hard and difficult, especially during like Mercury retrograde. We have several retrogrades going on. Again, as always, I have said that I'm not really not well studied in astrology, but I'm learning here and there. So by doing so, I'm able to share stuff with you guys, which I think in general, there's nothing wrong with um, people sharing stuff that they know and you can share with other people, right? So if you have knowledge about something, especially if other people are interested in, definitely share it. Why not, right? And I'm looking a little crazy, but we'll see what I'm doing. But yeah, full moon in Aquarius. I did a reading once again, as I said. It's posted on my channel, so if you guys want to check that out. But the full moon in Aquarius just talked about being yourself, doing things that was gonna make you feel good and feel comfortable with being confident, feeling comfortable with expressing yourself, because that just allows you to obviously be yourself, feel more comfortable. It was going to help with your self-confidence. It was going to help with any healing that you need to do. This full moon calls for people to do inner work, inner healing, So if you're feeling stressed out, okay, understandable. But what are you doing to help yourself to not feel as stressed out, right? I'll use myself as an example because I always do. I have been feeling super stressed out the past like month, to the point where physically I'm noticing that, oh, okay, this is an indicator that like my body is stressed, my mind is stressed. So I've been voicing that. I've been telling people I feel stressed. I've been, taking naps when I feel called to take a nap. Or you know what? I need to like protect myself from like my environment energetic wise. So I'll leave early from a certain place, or I'll listen to music, or I'll do some sort of cleansing, if that makes sense. Where does our imagination come from? I think our minds are portals to God. That is a good question. Where does our imagination come from? I personally have never actually thought about that. That's actually something I feel like one of my kiddos would talk about with me, and then we just go based off of that because their mind is so open and curious and so aware that I'm like, huh, I never thought about that. This is why communication is important. Imagination can just come from downloads, as people like to call it. You just get like visuals, or you pick up on energies, and it makes you wonder, like, kind of like a daydream like state, if that makes sense. Um, your mind can be associated with your third eye. Your mind is associated with your crown chakra, right? So with your spirituality, with your awareness, with knowledge, with your higher self. Um, it's happened. I'll use an example. Yesterday, me and my sibling were talking, and then she made a comment about something that I have been researching on, and I've been thinking about it, and I've like envisioned myself like, okay, if I pursue something in particular, I'm envisioning myself as that or in that environment. And we weren't talking about the research I was doing. And then she made that comment like, oh, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna become this. And I looked at her, I'm like, why did I tell you about that? She's like, what? I'm like, what you just said? Did I tell you about that? And she's like, no, I just said it. It just popped up in my mind. She said, while I was in the shower, that popped up in my mind because she had just gotten out of the shower when I arrived. And I'm like, that's crazy. So sometimes they're just downloads. They're things that you pick up on. Of course, you can, your mind can have you think about many other things as well. So that is actually a really good question. I feel like a lot of people may have been dreaming more. I mean, you can obviously dream more whenever, but I feel like during perhaps the full moon energies is where people dream a little bit more. The moon is associated with Cancer, and Cancer is a water sign, right? So, and then in tarot, the moon is associated with Pisces and Cancer. They're both water signs. So we have the water element energy here, so that could resonate with someone. As well, healing is associated, of course, with the emotions. Healing is associated with the moon. The moon's associated with the dreams. So that should kind of make sense. In general, I always consider, what other people say, even if it's like sarcastically, or maybe they're not being serious in what they're talking about. But if it's being said, especially on my live, while I'm talking about collective energy, I just take it as it's a sign for whatever reason of why that is being brought up. So, but I do like that question. Where does our imagination come from? As well, like when you're setting intentions, visualizing, as well as using like the law of attraction, it all comes from the mind. Do you think you're not just a human? I think there's more to your existence. I feel like I do believe in people who say I don't feel, no, excuse me, I believe in people who have said I feel out of place. I feel like I'm from a different era. I feel like I don't belong here. I believe in people who have said, I feel like I belong somewhere else, right? I believe that some people have experienced being other things instead of being human, right? I believe that people who pass away, or when they do pass away, they can become flowers. I do believe people that pass away, their energy can become a tree. I believe in that just from doing like my research and like coming across like, I guess, like social media content that people have posted, or even like documentaries. Sorry if I keep bumping into the mic. Stuff like that. I believe in that. I remember I used to, back in my beginning stages of listening to tarot readings and watching tarot videos here on YouTube, I used to follow someone, I guess per se, who believed that her dog was like certain percent human and the rest was, you know, dog. And I was like, I've never thought about that. But has there been times where you like you look at a dog or at a pet and their eyes just seem so human like? Or you feel like they could see through you, if that makes sense? Because that's all energy. They also have a soul, you know? So, I don't know. Some people believe or feel like they're from a different planet, or like they're, I guess, what they call a star seed. You know, I'm not making fun or anything. I guess I can't resonate with that. And do I think there's more to our existence? Yes, I do. But I also believe in whatever it is that someone believes in, the reality is what is manifesting for them. So just because, you know, in my reality something is happening, I don't believe that, you know, will resonate with somebody else. Or someone's like, oh, my reality is this. Okay, well, you know, I don't believe that what's happening for you in your life, or like, let's say something is happening in like your country. It sounds crazy. Like, it'll happen to me, if that makes sense. Of course, like, you know, what you see on the news, what you see on social media, of course that exists. But me personally, I do feel like there is some sort of lie to an extent, if that makes sense. But I literally will say something around the lines of like, if someone's like, oh, this is happening, or blah, this and that. And I'm like, nope, not in my reality. I'm being dead serious when I say not in my reality, because I'm not trying to manifest many things in my life. I hope that makes sense. When it comes to full moon energy, the full moon happens every 2 weeks. If you ever feel like, man, I could have done some cleansing work on the full moon, or I could have done some sort of like releasing work during the full moon, for example, just because we did just have the full moon, you can still do it depending what it is, right? Again, I mentioned earlier, like maybe certain days you can do certain intentions or certain like intentional work, if that makes sense. But you can also work before the full moon, on the full moon, and the day after the full moon, if you believe in the moon cycles. Like literally every time at this point that I go live, I always talk about the moon cycles. Excuse me, which is interesting because I used to do spell work. I used to offer spell work a couple years ago, and I always worked with the moon cycles. So people would always be booking with me depending on what it is and what I posted. But full moon in Aquarius, some of you guys could have felt a lot of this energy if you are a Leo, an Aquarius, or have those placements in your chart. Spells, yes. So like intention setting. So that's something that obviously people have been doing for hundreds and hundreds, perhaps even thousands of years. Doing spell work. Even your words are a spell. Spelling. So like affirmations, that can be considered a spell. Visualizing yourself in a better situation, visualizing yourself in a certain environment, visualization, setting that intention, that's also a spell. I need my fan. People be saying the weirdest shit. Again, ignore. I don't have my other phone here, so I hope you guys can see that. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Okay, so if anyone saw that comment, I know they're a weirdo. Spells are everywhere, man. Sigils, symbols. Oh, that's so funny. So the shirt I'm wearing, it's Prince Purple Rain. He eventually changed his name into a symbol. My understanding is he changed his name into a symbol so the industry would stop messing with him and would stop, in a sense, claiming like royalty. Maybe there's something there about loyalty too. They was just stop taking money from him, you know. So he started, and as well, you know, a sigil, a symbol, holds power to it, right? So that's why every company has a symbol, has a design of some sort. Of course, it identifies them from like everybody else. But again, like I said, it holds power. So there's spells in everything. There's spells in music, especially when it comes to the music industry. I mean, at this point with social media, everyone comes across something that talks or states about like, you know, this person probably does, I don't know. If you follow that, you follow that. I'm using the wrong eyeshadow. Oh my god. But yeah, like I said, there's spells in everything. It's all about intentions. People don't have to light candles in order to manifest something good or bad. Literally, people can look at you a certain way with a certain intention, and that energy is just sent out. People can use many things to create or to do a spell. But if you are a type of person that does spell work, okay, you do that. There's also people that have never considered that or have never heard about that. But people do that as well. And it's actually one of my favorite things to do is do spell work. So slowly but surely I'm getting back into sharing that. Sharing my abilities to help people. I have done spell work throughout the years. I have done road opening. I've done money spells. I've done cleansing. I've done protection. I've done removal of like evil eye, bad luck. I've done prosperity, success spells. I've done fast luck spells. I've done love spells. I've done return to me spells. I have done uh, cord cutting spells. I'm trying to manifest a house spells. I'm trying to manifest a new home spells. I've done a lot. I sure have. I have helped hundreds of people at this point. Hundreds. And I have always and will always be thankful for it. I did mention on my previous live as well that people, and on my Mercury retrograde readings as well. So again, Mercury retrograde was from, I believe, July 17th to August 10th. And then there's always a pre and post shadow phase. So just keep that in mind if you do follow the energy of the retrograde, especially Mercury retrograde. But I was talking about, oh my God, I just lost my train of thought. Someone remind me what I was leading up to. Maybe. I lost my train of thought. There's so many things popping up in my mind, And it's hard sometimes to share like what I'm talking about, because again, what they, and I say they as in like the tarot community, the intuitive, empathic community here on social media and YouTube and stuff, they call them downloads. I don't like to call them downloads, but I feel like at this point I'm just calling them downloads. It's just like things that I like receive and stuff um in my mind, and like things I talk about. I'm thinking about Prince again. So there's something here about purple. It's making me think about the full moon in Aquarius card that I got in the previous reading. So I was talking about the last live I was doing about Aquarius. Oh my god, I completely lost my train of thought. That's super annoying. What the hell? Oh my god, I'm using the wrong one. I have black hair and I'm using a brown pencil. I don't have brown eyebrows. I have black eyebrows. Do you think death is a portal? That's a good question. Well, I guess it would depend on what you believe. For example, for you, since you're wondering that, what a portal means, right? Like, like in movies and shows, when they show a portal, does it look like that? Does it, do you transition, I guess, in a sense, from this dimension, this reality to another dimension? That was a good question. Everyone's belief, I guess, per se, is different for sure. I guess at this point, what I believe is everyone's, I guess, destiny or next destination is different. Some people believe that they're gonna go to heaven. Some people believe that they will be reincarnated back into this human life, this world. Some people, as I was talking about earlier, can believe that they will become like a flower, right? I believe that when someone does pass away, they, I guess, also has to do with the belief, but they are greeted by death. Some people will think, depending on the belief, a certain energy, deity will meet them and, I guess, in a sense, guide you to where it is that you need to go next, if that makes sense. But here's the thing. We won't know exactly what happens until it happens to us. There has been people that have talked about, oh, I passed away and I saw this, I experienced that. And I do believe in people's experiences, but if death is a portal, I think death is an energy. Obviously, death is an occurrence, it's something that happens to you. But I do feel like death is an energy. Again, depending on people's beliefs, death could be a deity, death can be an energy, an entity, in a sense, to say. Ooh, I should have done my eyebrows first. My eyebrows gonna be looking crazy today, but it is what it is. Anytime I do my eyebrows, I feel like they look like Angry Birds. They're looking real thick today. It's okay. It is what it is. I'm gonna do my lips next. Oops, sorry if I keep moving the camera. Man, I was live, like I was saying, I was live the other night, and I did free yes or no questions. Now, I understand people were having dinner, it's Friday, everyone is just doing their own thing. Only like 2 or 3 people asked questions, and I'm like, you know what? I don't mind it. I appreciate it. I was like, man, people always be up in my DMs messaging me, oh, can I get a free reading and stuff? I'm like, oh, I'm currently not doing it. And then when I do, it's like no one's around. Wear a COVID mask for a few minutes and do eye makeup. Do you have a mask? Why? Why should I wear a mask? Oh, so like it like protects from like the fallout? Oh, Not a bad idea. No, I just did like more of a neutral shade. I'm not gonna do like eyeshadow. That's not really like my thing anymore. But that's a good tip. Normally when I have done eyeshadow, I just do my eyeshadow and then I'll do like the base and everything else. Get one to wear while I do my makeup, or are you suggesting that I should be wearing a COVID mask at this time? That's a serious question because when I go to the stores, I've seen people wear face masks, and I mean that's their choice. I don't have a reason to wear a face mask. If I'm sick, I'm making sure that I stay home. Unless I really need to go to the store to get some medicine, that's a different story. But of course, I can order and get stuff dropped off, or I can have somebody else pick up stuff for me. But I have noticed people starting to wear masks again. Not in my reality. Not in my or my family's reality. And that comes from, why am I messing up my makeup today? And that comes from someone that, like, when COVID did happen, I was like, listen, I was a person who would disinfect themselves with disinfectant spray before I got in the car, after leaving the grocery store, before walking in home, disinfecting every little thing. I was that person. Of course, I'm still mindful of like bacteria and stuff like that. But the amount of times that people have gotten COVID, dude, my lips are not it today. And after people have been vaccinated and they still got COVID and still got hella sick, what can I tell you? Dude, this is not coming out the way it should. I need something else. But yes. Yeah, so I chose to go live and talk about the post energy, because as I stated beginning of the live, in case for those that missed it, the energy for this full moon was so much better than the last full moon we had and new moon energy we had. I definitely feel like the Lionsgate portal helped a lot when it comes to the intentions that I set, and as well for, in general, like the collective energy, the collective feeling, if that makes sense, the collective energy. I have stated always that when I do readings, especially when it's collective readings here on YouTube, or I post it anywhere on social media, excuse me, we can all relate, understand to an extent. So just because something's happening to you or not happening to you doesn't mean it's not happening to me. And maybe we're all experiencing something to an extent, and we can all relate to an extent. If that makes sense. Better, but not how it should be. My makeup today is not it. Looking crazy. Normally I do my makeup in the bathroom, but today I was like, I'm gonna go live. Let me just be here while I do my makeup. I've been thinking about going live on TikTok, but it's a lot of energy. When I go on TikTok, or when I have gone on TikTok, It's to do like free yes or no questions, but I guess so many people coming in that it's a lot of energy, and it just gets so like difficult to like keep track, because people will ask a question, like they'll post it in the chat, and then they're like, they keep repeating the question over and over and over again. I'm like, dude, like one question at a time, I'll get to you. Because it's such like a high influx of like people coming in, and the energy, it can be quite overwhelming. That's why I like YouTube, because it's more like chill, and I feel like I can just do readings at my own pace, of course. And I honestly like that after the live, I can just post it public and just leave it. And people can come back and listen to it, reference it. I always recommend that you guys save the live, especially if like you gotta go. Like it's understandable. You're not gonna be watching the live for the entirety of the time. If I said that right. But come back and listen to it. Put on some headphones and listen to live. Because I have done that before. And I feel like the brightness went down. Give me a second. The brightness did go down on my phone. I don't know why, but it did. But going back to the Lionsgate full moon energy, as I stated, it's different and I love it so much. Again, with setting the intentions that I did, I feel like I did the damn thing. I did what I needed to do. The universe was there to help me. I got signs. I got confirmation. I got what I needed. And I don't know, maybe down the road at a later time, I'll talk about what I manifested, you know? I literally thought about it this morning. Well, of course, yesterday, but then I also thought about it this morning. And I'm like, wait a second. I technically manifested something that I set the intention like 2 weeks ago. Yup. Ooh, you always got to be thankful. You always got to be grateful for what you have. And it can be so easy to feel like you don't have what you want, or it's very easy to feel down about certain things or situations. But this is your reminder to stay as positive as you can be, because if you don't, then you're screwed. Because your mind influences your emotions influences your mind, your environment influences your emotions and your mind. It's all connected, right? So it's understandable. For example, if you're going through something, right, and you feel like hopeless, or you feel like you just can't get out of it, or you feel like you don't know what to do, sometimes taking action right away is what you needed to do. Sometimes not doing anything yet is what you need to do. And you have to trust your intuition. If your intuition says wait it out, just wait, but you feel genuinely like you have to wait, do it. But if you feel like you have to wait to take action on it, but it's based on like fear or feeling nervous, then you gotta chill out, ground your energy, and figure out why you feel that way. Because then when you need to make a decision or act on something, what if it doesn't turn out the way that you thought it was going to be? And then you're like, right? And then maybe it's happened where you do something or you say something and it doesn't turn out the way you wanted it to be. And then you're like, oh, I knew it. I knew I shouldn't have done it, or I knew I shouldn't have said it. It's because you weren't trusting your intuition. And I say that because I am someone who has experienced that many, many times. And I have learned that I have to trust my intuition. Because if I don't, then again, I'm going to be like, I knew it, right? And you don't want to be experiencing that. So that's definitely a message regarding the full moon and Lionsgate portal that we just had. And of course, throughout Leo season and moving forward, the importance of trusting your intuition. And I've been talking about it for the longest time, doing cleansing work, and again, setting intentions about what you're trying to manifest. My makeup isn't turning out right. It's more on the heavier side, but I think because it's, I don't know, maybe it's the lighting. The word spirituality just popped up in my mind. So I feel like this is like a recap of what I talked about in my previous life. So I'll just talk about it. A lot of you guys are going to be noticing things regarding the changes that is going to be happening regarding your spirituality. Maybe you might be someone who never really did any intentional work, any law of attraction work, and you may be now starting to do that because maybe you tried something out. Maybe you said an affirmation or affirmations. Maybe you did like a spell work, especially during the Lionsgate full moon energy, or depending when you watch this live. You know, if it resonates, it resonates. Or perhaps something happened and you're like, wait, it worked. So you're going to start doing it now, right? For example, as I mentioned earlier, I used to offer doing spell work for other people, right? So I have helped many people, and I have seen, for example, like on social media or when they've shared stuff with me, they now do their own um, stuff. So that's just, you know, relating it to spirituality, right? Their changes, their growth. I used to have people that would, actually, I'll share. I used to have someone who would always book readings with me. Always, always, always. And this person eventually, and spell work, but eventually they started doing spell work for themselves, which is totally great, right? They were called to do that. I've seen people post on social media, you know, spell work as well. And I'm like, okay, I see you. You know, this is stuff I used to help you with, you know, and it's great to see that. And it reaches to a point where people no longer need other people's help, you know. So I've always considered myself to be someone who can provide guidance. And it's not just, you know, uh, only with tarot, for example. I don't need tarot cards. I don't need oracle cards to read people anymore. Just by tapping into your energy, like if we're talking and stuff, sometimes I can already pick up on certain things, and like you haven't really even said anything to me, right? As I mentioned earlier on the live, like my sibling saying something that she picked up on while she was in the shower, because when you're showering, that can also be considered like meditation because you're like in a meditative state. So she picked up on that and then she said it, and I was like, "How'd you know about that? How'd you know I was doing research on that?" She's like, "I don't know. It just popped up in my mind." And then we talked about it a little bit. So some of you guys could be experiencing things like that, perhaps, or you may know someone who perhaps would be like, "Man, I last night my dream was like this and like that," or I feel like I'm experiencing deja vu. That could be something you guys are experiencing. I sure did yesterday. I was like, wait a second, something just happened and I'm experiencing deja vu. And I'm like, I feel like I've already experienced this moment. And in that moment, I've also said, whoa, this feels like deja vu. I don't know. I guess that's another that's another conversation, another topic for a later time. But I did mention previously that when it comes to spirituality, people are going to be experiencing um, growth, right? So that just ties in with changes because there is no growth if there is no change. And that comes from someone who likes changes, likes changes that I can control, if that makes sense. I don't like changes that I can't control because that messes with my sense of control and can trigger certain anxieties. But listen, that's just part of life, right? That's also something that I'm learning, let's say. Man, this eyeliner is crazy today. It's kind of really out there. I normally don't wear that much heavy makeup, but I guess I am today. Some of you guys could be experimenting with your makeup. Someone earlier on the live said you don't need makeup to fix what they say. You don't need makeup to fix your face or to fix yourself. I'm like, I never once said, nor a lot of women or in general people who wear makeup. No one has ever said it'll fix my face or it'll fix my life. It can make you feel better though, and ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm wearing makeup today because I want to wear makeup today. I'm wearing makeup today because I have time to put on makeup today. And I was like, you know what? Why not go live as well? Nothing wrong with that. Again, previous live. Again, I feel like this is a recap at this point. But I have gone live. Excuse me. I have stated in my previous live, I used to be the type of person that felt like they needed to wear makeup like almost every single day. Almost every single day. Understandable, like if you wear makeup to work or whatever, just something you like to do. Totally fine with that. Ain't no problem. That's totally fine. Well, I'm someone who prioritizes now like more self-care stuff, excuse me, skincare stuff, which goes with self-care. But you know what messed me up is the base of this, because it's more of a warmer tone, the neutral shade that I put all over the lid. I used the wrong one. So it's tripping me out. And my lips are looking really dark. And then this eyeliner is just out there. I feel like I'm missing something. And my eyebrows are a mess today, but it is what it is. Oh, give me a second. No one told me if you guys could hear my fan. Because it does matter. That's the only setting spray I have, and it's alright. Reminder again, make sure you guys are doing your cleansing work, because it does work. Okay. This definitely is a message for somebody, especially again, since we just had a full moon and the Lionsgate portal. If you guys ever have any questions regarding that, you guys can message me. I will answer. I'm not like those people that don't answer back. And then again, I don't have like a large platform, so it's understandable why if you reach out to someone, they're not able to. No, you know what? Nah, I'm not gonna say that. No. Because I follow someone on social media and they have a large following, and I replied to one of their Instagram stories, and they actually responded back to me, and we had like a short conversation, but she actually responded back to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, didn't expect that. I thought, I'll respond to the story, you might see it, but they're not gonna say anything. They sure did. So that's just an excuse. But like I said, you guys can always message me if you guys have any questions. Even if it's just like advice. Like, I'm not gonna charge you because you're like, oh my god, I feel like, I don't know, I feel tired all the time. I feel like I don't have time for myself. And I'm noticing that it's starting to affect my sleep. Like, what can I do? What can I use? Can you recommend anything? And majority of the time, I'm going to recommend stuff that you probably already have in your home, or things you can buy and it's not going to cost you a lot. Because there's things that I've done, there's things that I've used, and it's things that people have told me, people have shared with me in person, or even like things I've learned off of like social media. There are things that I learned from someone who grew up being spiritual, let's say, or doing spiritual work. Like, they grew up in that and they recommended things to me. And to this day, I'll recommend that to other people because it's worked, I'll share something with you. Something that you can use is if you have a lime or lemon, set the intention that that is going to cleanse you, is going to remove negativity, that it's going to clear your path, that it's going to remove, I don't know, stagnancy, blockages, anything that you feel is weighing you down. And after you, like an egg cleanse, basically. Excuse me, with that lime or lemon, start at your crown chakra and just rub it. Setting the intention everywhere, everywhere. You're on the bottom of your feet. Put that in a bag and get rid of it outside of your home. Throw it in trash bin outside, or find somewhere where you can get rid of it and just let it be. Citrus is really good for removing like blockages, removing negativity. People will use citrus in spell work as well. Another thing you can use is, which is something I learned, is if you have, again, lemon. So some of you guys could have lemons. You could buy some. Get a lemon and cut it like into a cross. So you have, I guess, 4 slits. And then sea salt in the middle, right? Put it on a plate underneath your bed. Leave it there for like 3 days. And then again, toss all of it out outside of your home. Because sea salt naturally cleanses you. That's why people are gravitated towards going to the beach, right? People feel like it just cleanses them. They feel perhaps even recharged. So that is something that you can use, and that is something that could be very helpful. So I just gave you guys like 2 examples. These eyebrows are not it today, you guys. Oh my god. It's stressing me out. I know. They look so thick. You know what you can also use if you have any questions regarding like spell work and stuff, is you can use Chat GPT. Now I use Chat GPT for like if I have questions and stuff about certain things, especially when it comes to like reading my natal chart. That's actually been pretty cool. But not regarding like work that I do or that I've done, because I don't need help from AI like that. But like if you ever like need help designing something, I mean, it could help, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I know that's a big issue right now with in the creative world. It's like, instead of using AI, contact an artist or something, which again, there's no issue doing that, but you use what you use for what you got to use it for. What's tripping me out is this eyebrow is not properly arched, so it looks really thick. And you know what? I don't know if it's, oh, yep, it's the hair. I mean, you guys could be very picky about that. Normally I am not, but in this case I am. It could be just how it's coming off on camera. Again, this is a get ready with me. This is not a collective tarot reading, oracle reading session right now, but it is a collective intuitive reading. I don't know. Virgo just popped up in my mind. So some of you guys could be Virgos or have Virgo placements. I don't know, maybe that's kind of stereotypical, if that's the right word I'm using. I remember I gave my mom my haircut yesterday. And I was like, oh my god, like you could literally have gone to a hair salon, but here you are trusting me with your hair. I'm like, if I butcher it, that's all on you. But she liked it. But I just remembered when I was in cosmetology, I have like this little hair that's like bothering me. I don't know if you guys can see it, like curling down. But yeah, I had to practice because I think I missed like a day or something, and I had to do someone's eyebrows. Like I had to wax it. Now, mind you, she barely had any hair. Very clean, very nice. And like it was just like one little hair that was just like there, and she was like, like stop, like don't mess with it. Like I was like, damn girl, like I barely did anything to you, I didn't mess it up or anything. She probably had Virgo placements or something, earth or air. Air can be very particular about certain things, especially when it comes to like one's look, if that makes sense. Oh my god, you can still see it. I want to tweeze it. Hope it doesn't look like I'm missing hair right there. You guys could be experiencing like allergies or something still, or during this like season, because I feel like I need to sneeze. Okay, then I'm gonna just let it be because I got stuff I got to do. But thank you so much for everyone that tuned in into the live. Thank you for everyone that was having conversation with me in the chat. It is appreciated. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you for everyone that subscribed. I truly, truly appreciate it, and I appreciate you so, so much. And make sure you guys turn on your notifications so you get notified when I go live. Again, I do offer free readings here and there, so don't miss that, because a lot of people missed it, and then everyone's in my DMs asking, can I get a free reading? I am currently open for readings. I'm offering yes or no questions. I'm offering general readings. I'm offering love readings. I'm offering career readings. And I'm also offering readings if you want unlimited questions. Like if you just have a bunch of questions that you want me to answer for you and to provide guidance for you and insight, 1 hour is the best one. But if you just have like one question, you want something straight to the point, just contact me. We'll work it out. You guys can contact me on Instagram. It's intutivelovetarot. You should guys follow me on there as well. Or if you prefer, you can email me at intutivelovedaily. And I just saw 11:11 on the time. I like to point that out. 11:11. You can't see it, but I'm pointing. 11:11. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.